Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of NNR Analysis. The NBA season has started up again and we are excited to do this more regularly. Tonight we're discussing
bold takes and predictions for the 2022-2023 season.
I'm Nate.
I'm Ryan.
And this is NNR Analysis. Okay, so tonight Ryan and I have come up with a couple bold takes for the season. And we have not discussed them other than kind of given brief details so we don't have duplicates. Ryan's going to start us off with one of his bold takes. I'm going to try to keep this one a little bit shorter, and hopefully we'll have a bit shorter segments moving forward, but we'll do what we can. We know we provide a lot of good NBA information on here, and you guys love it, so go ahead.
Okay, so the first one, I got no secret here, Lakers guy. Lakers win at least one playoff series. So I'm not even saying that they make the playoffs. I think they're going to make the playoffs. We've seen them play a couple games so far. Yes, they're 0-2 as of right now. But with how they're playing, honestly, the biggest fault they have right now is their three-point shooting.
Taking the lead. Oh, just the three-point shooting.
I mean, like, their defense is spot on. Like, they're shutting down Kawhi the other night and everything.
Westbrook was doing a good job. 5 steals in the game the other day, but he played terrible offensively. So I think if they played better, that might make the difference for them. I think a combination of Kendrick Nunn, Russell Westbrook, and I can't remember who the other player was, but there
Lonnie
was
Walker.
Yeah, Lonnie Walker. They shot. Oh no, not Walker then. 3 players.
Patrick Beverly.
Yes, Patrick Beverly was the other one. They shot 1 for 27 or something like that. So, terrible. Terrible. Westbrook was 0 of 11 himself. Had 2 points just because of free throws and things. So, I guess if they shape up, Ryan thinks they're going to win at least one playoff series.
I think they will, and this is why. Because I think they're playing well, and they're going to do a trade because they see what they have. They need three-point shooting. They know that right now. And they're going to do something to get three-point shooting, and that's why they're going to win.
Okay.
So presently constructed, I don't think they could, but by the end of the season, with what they do during the season, I think they will.
Okay, that brings up 2 of mine then.
Ooh.
One of them is actually not going to be one of the 3 that I picked. Ryan and I each picked 3 bold takes. One of mine was almost... Oh yeah, Ryan's got 4. One of mine was almost Russell Westbrook getting traded, but I think we all think that's going to happen. So that's my question. Does that mean Russell Westbrook is going to get traded and that's where they're going to get three-point shooting from?
I don't know if that's where... I mean, that's the most likely. Obviously, they've talked with Indiana about maybe trading...
for Buddy Hield.
And Miles Turner. But obviously, they have to throw those draft picks they have. So that's the most plausible, but there are other options.
Okay. I think that'll happen at least some point in the season. So that's not really a bold take. We both are in agreement that it's going to happen.
It's looking like it's happening.
Especially with this attitude, the way it's been. Okay, so here's my first bold take. The Kings are going to make the playoffs this year.
Explain.
They've lost their first couple games, but I think they've got a good enough roster that I think they're going to be able to do it, which means, from our previous videos, what I would have said about my top 8 in the West would be incorrect according to this because I didn't have the Kings even close. I think I had them 11th. Well, I had the Jazz 11th, but I've recently switched them because of the Donovan trade. Anyways,
sure.
I'm going to say the Kings will come in that 8th spot. This is after the play-in takes place.
Okay.
And in the play-in will be 2 teams that should be playoff teams. I've already said that the Mavs weren't going to make the playoffs. That puts them at 9th. And I'm kicking the Lakers out. I had them 8th. So that's in contradiction to your bold prediction. You think that they're going to win one playoff series. I think they're not even going to make the playoffs. I guess it does kind of come down to the Russell Westbrook trade.
It does come down
and
to
if there's good chemistry at that point. So that's my first take. What's your next one?
My next one, OKC finishes the season with the worst record in the NBA. Or not in the NBA, in the West. And the reason why I am making this prediction...
So 15th.
Yeah, 15th in the
Pacers
West.
will be 15th in East with a worse record.
I don't know if Pacers will. They might but it's going to be right down there.
Okay.
And the reason why I say this is Chet's injured,
Mm-hmm.
so they obviously have that going for them, or maybe going against them depending on how you look at it. But there's talk of the teams tanking for the number 1 pick. OKC is sitting there going, we already have Chet out this season. We have all these picks. It's highly likely that we could potentially get him, and we can pair up the number 1 pick, which we all know who it's going to be, with Chet. And you have this crazy duo. And so I think OKC is going to tank a little bit.
With Chet and Josh Giddey and possibly Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. There's been talk about him being traded. Do you think if they tank another year, what does Gilgeous-Alexander do in that case?
Like, what do you mean? What does he do? Like,
is he
happy?
Isn't his contract coming up soon?
I'm not sure.
He could extend. He could go in free agency. I think if they tank this year and get the number 1 seed,
he stays. But it'd be dumb not to.
No. I think he goes.
Really?
I think he's sick of being there and being on a crappy team, and he's like, I'm out of here. I'm gonna go sign with a contender and be good.
Because he could see that they got Chet.
Well, it's a young core, but they're going to come up against other teams, and you know how teams pop up just every year with trades, and suddenly crappy teams are in contention.
I think he'd stay at that point.
Okay,
but
all right.
That's my prediction: is that they finish last, hoping that they get the number 1 draft pick. And how ironic would it be with all these teams talking of tanking if what happened is they ended up not getting the number 1 pick because of the lottery. That would be funny if it was a team that didn't tank that got it when other teams did.
I hope the Jazz get the number 1 seed.
Karma.
Victor Wembanyama.
Yep. Okay.
Scoot Henderson would be good as a number 2 as well.
You're up. What's your next take?
Okay, my next take is, and this is a hot take, but I've said this before, and I'm sticking by it. I've picked my NBA champion this year, and it is going to be the Los Angeles Clippers. They will win their first NBA title.
That's a bold
2022-2023 season. The Los Angeles Clippers. And I think the Finals MVP, Ryan tried to make this bold earlier by me saying, who's going to win Finals MVP? It's going to be Kawhi Leonard. But if I were to throw out a bold take and say Paul George, that would be cool. But he just recently said in the news that he's fine being number 2 and knows that Kawhi is number 1. So with that said, I think he threw himself under the bus and won't win Finals MVP.
Okay. I mean, it's not up to him at the end of the day. It's up to the voters. But
true.
Yeah, I could see that. I think if they win it, Kawhi's the most likely to. Obviously, Paul George, depending on who they play, I think if they play like a Boston or somebody where Paul George has to be the number 1 defender.
Yeah.
In that scenario, Paul George.
Because we've seen Andre Iguodala get it before when he was guarding
you
the best player in the world, according to Ryan, who's got him right here.
But so I think that could play a role. But I mean, honestly, Kawhi's the best player on that team. So
yeah,
that makes sense.
Reggie Jackson's gonna win MVP.
John Wall coming off the bench.
Just kidding. John Wall could win 6th Man of the Year. That would be really cool.
No, I mean winning Finals MVP off the bench.
Oh,
that'd be interesting.
Be interesting.
Okay, moving on. Sorry. So my next take: who wins MVP? None other than Ja Morant.
Oh.
Now this one is bold because
it's not gonna happen.
Ja is a great player. I'm not going to go as far as say he's the top player in the league because that's not happening. But we all know MVP doesn't always go to the top player in the league. But Memphis relies on Ja Morant like crazy, similar to a Luka Doncic. I think Luka is who I said earlier was going to win the MVP. But I think this is a very good possibility that this could happen. Ja has a crazy good year. We've seen him already in these couple games have his highlights.
Yeah.
And
insane.
Getting some blocks. He had a sweet come from behind block the other night. So.
Almost had the game winner a few days ago in that game.
So got called for that charge. Rightfully so.
Got called for a charge. They still won.
Yeah. I think his name's going to be up there.
Some people have compared him to a Derrick Rose before, which is the youngest MVP currently in the league to win MVP.
Yeah.
So Could happen.
I mean, he
Personally,
also
I
plays...
think it won't happen for a few years. That's my take. I think that Luka will win it before he does.
Okay.
So,
Yeah, I mean, definitely his game is similar to a Westbrook. D-Rose very much reliant on his athleticism. So
Westbrook
there has been players
he won too.
who've gotten it, but we'll see.
Okay. All right. Here's number 3 for me. My boldest take of the night. I wanted this to be last, but Ryan's got 4. So he's saving his best for last, I hope, too.
Best for last.
Mine is, and this is bold, nobody can actually predict this, LeBron's going to get injured, and he will not pass Kareem Abdul-Jabbar as on the all-time scoring list this season. That is what's going to happen. He's not going to pass Kareem this season, and the NBA will be super bummed because everybody is trying, or so excited for it to happen, and it's just not going to happen this season. That's my bold take.
Okay, that is a bold take. I will give you that. But let me ask you this. Do you believe that's going to happen?
Well, he's playing hard right now. That's the thing is you can see him pushing for this record.
Yeah.
Which is cool. He wants it. And he wants to take over. He wants to, cement his name in NBA history. He already has. He could retire now and still be considered the greatest of all time to some. And I think he thinks taking this next step will do it. But where he's pushing himself so hard, an injury is a possibility.
Yeah, more possible.
So, and Anthony Davis, wow, in that game the other night when he came down hard, I was so concerned that LeBron, all the pressure's on LeBron again, and 80's glass. So, guess we'll see what happens there. All right, your last and final take.
Okay, this is the boldest prediction I have. And this is coming from, we just said Ja could win it. I think it's even more, it's up there with the LeBron bold take. I predict that Damian Lillard gets traded.
Ooh, that's a cool one.
I was thinking about who could get traded this year.
Gets traded, not asks for a trade.
Not necessarily ask for a trade, because he
loyal.
signed this deal. He's this loyal guy. Everything, there's talks of how LeBron and Anthony Davis had talked to him before about coming to the Lakers, and then he decided to stay with the Trailblazers. So there's been all this talk about him being loyal, but I think Portland is sitting there going, we aren't winning as much as we think we can.
Well, the season just started.
Could change. Yeah. But I think they're going to be in the middle of the season, middle of the pack, not competing for a championship, and they're going to go, it sure would be nice to get some draft picks. It sure would be nice to get some pieces.
So do they go into rebuild?
I think they go into rebuild.
Okay. That is a bold take. I like it. What are your bold takes? We have a few honorable mentions. The Russell Westbrook thing was one of them. And then the other one that I had in mind was Nets don't make it out of the first round of the playoffs.
Some pretty good ones. A couple I had is Chris Paul gets traded. Phoenix ends up going, we want to move some pieces around. Bradley Beal gets traded. Obviously, Washington, no one really expects them to be super amazing, and he's that loyal guy. He's that Damian Lillard on the other side.
He doesn't care if he gets traded now.
So there's that. And then lastly, Timberwolves missed the playoffs. I had as a bold take.
Cool. That's insane, man.
Yeah.
So I will put all of these in the description. Go answer them. Check out our bold takes, and then also give us your bold takes.
Yeah.
Appreciate
Let
you
us
being
know
here.
what you think of our takes. And yeah.
Yep.
Like,
Appreciate you being on our channel. Like, subscribe. And guess we'll talk to you the next time. See you next week.